All right, let's get started. Let's see. This week for me was mostly reviews, and I'm getting back to working on multi-core. Aravind, how's it going? Can you guys hear me? Aravind?
Hi guys, sorry, I was muted and I was talking. Yeah, I
No
can hear.
worries. Anything you want to talk about this week, Aravind?
Yeah. Um, so I've been looking into the ZNS part of things last week, and I have identified a few issues right now, and I'm working on them. I also did some cleanup of the log messages, which were a little bit um, it was logging most of the info and debug messages as error messages, so kind of changed all of those things. I fixed the capacity reporting, that one. So I'll send a PR probably today from the JIT fork that I have. Um, so I'd request any of you to please review that um, and I'm still along with these patches, I'm still trying to understand the interface, how it is interfacing with the higher layers and all of that. I'm getting a good idea, but still I would not say I'm 100% there yet. Um, so I think that was a quick update from my end.
Okay. Yingzhen?
Yeah, last week I went over the cache code and add some fixes for review. And for the generation node GC, I replaced the code and I find out that FIO zip zipf mode might be more appropriate to add generate workload to test GC because it will the probability to hit some blocks will be not even in this mode. And also I added the metrics. I did some improvement to the metrics. That's all.
Yep, I agree with FIO ZipF. Testing with a uniform distribution is essentially a worst-case scenario for any garbage collection or caching subsystem. ZipF is one distribution that does attempt to model a more realistic workload, though we would need to do some kind of profiling of real workloads to get a better idea of what we should be doing.
One thing I'm not sure is the parameter of ZipF. I'm not sure what's
Yep.
the preferable zeta parameter.
Yeah, so in more realistic systems, what you do is you would add a sampling system to, well, in this case, Seastore, sample the actual LBAs that are being written to, and then use that to tune the ZipF parameters to do synthetic testing. But since we don't have that kind of data, and even if we did, it would be highly workload dependent. I would go find a paper that evaluates pretty much any recent block block implementation and just copy whatever synthetic workload they're using. That would be what I would do as a first step. The other option is you could test several parameters and then present the results as a function of how much of the LBA space falls into the 80th percentile or something. Does that make sense?
Yes. I will pick some parameters to see what is going on in the profiling.
Yeah. I don't have a good sense for what I would expect to see in our workloads. Actually, do you have any do you have any internal customers you could deploy testing on? That would be really interesting. We don't have any way of doing that.
Yeah, I think I don't have any currently.
Okay. That'll be something to look into later on once we have, and we don't have to do it with Seastore either. Doing it with BlueStore would be just fine, or even doing it in the RBD client. Something to think about. Chenmei, how's it going?
Last week, fixed a rollback issue, and the small PRH got merged in, and I got the comments for the error log, and we are working on the comments to modify the error log PR. And Redek, I have sent you an email about the up historic fluid.
Yep, I saw. I responded. I think that the reason behind doing the creation of intrusive pointer without adding to the ref count, it's solely for preserving, for guaranteeing that there is at least one reference, even if the operation, if the client request is handled, is finished, and only the history registry is its sole user. I'm surprised that that you are seeing use after free in the client request part. We'll take a look on that.
Oh, okay, thank you. And I'm still debugging on the regressive bug, and before it passed the test, but currently still has an error. I'm not sure which PR introduced in the bug in the C read operation, and still debug on it. So that's all.
Okay, Radek.
Hello. Not much for Crimson last week. This week, I'm working on bringing back the buildability of Crimson on Jenkins on our CI/CD. Right now, I'm experiencing issues with system D libraries with UDEF. What's interesting is that only after upgrading the toolset to GCC 11, CMake is unable to detect system D libraries, UDEF library. Also, I'm absolutely sure it's in the system. I'm taking a look on what's going on here. That's me.
Okay, Zweihan.
Last week, I made several PR ready to merge, and I also did some further perf test for the Seastore. The result shows that the journal trimming duration is significant.
Zweihan, I think we may have lost you.
I cannot hear Zeshuan as well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My perf test shows that the journal trimming transactions duration.
I can hear that.
Hi.
There we go.
Oh, sorry. I got a poor connection here. I mean, the difference on the general trimming transactions duration is not caused by difference in the Seastore's scheduler queue length. I will do more to try to see why there is such difference. That's all for me.
Interesting. Yeah, that would have been my guess.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm out next week. I may see email, but I'm dealing with some personal stuff, so I'm not precisely sure how much time I'll be able to spend on work. We will see. But I'll be back the week after that. All right. Is there anything else?
Yes, Sam, one question. Is there anything any requirement before sending out the patches? Like, is there anything like regarding licenses or anything like that? Just checking. I read the patches.rst. It did say about signing your stuff, but I mean, obviously, I signed that. But anything other than that?
No. Try to match your style to existing code, all the usual boring stuff for committing to an open source project. Do try to break up your PRs based on what they actually do. Smaller PRs review faster, basically.
Yeah,
And
sure.
you can just ping me on them directly. I'll take a look when I get a chance.
Yeah. Multiple commits in a PR is okay, right?
It's encouraged.
Yeah.
So the commits should break your PR one, each PR should do one thing. The commits in a PR should make it easier to review. So if there were multiple steps, do one commit for each step. So that the reviewer can go one commit at a time.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yep. Looking forward to it. All right. Anything else? All right. Have a good week. Bye.
Thank you. Same for you. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.